Mr. Smith, it's Kelly. It's time to check your respirations. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Now, normally when you do someone's vital signs, you do not tell a person you're going to be checking their respirations. Normally I would pretend I was still checking for a pulse, and then once I was done counting the pulse, then I would look over and start counting the respirations while hopefully your patient still thinks you're checking actual pulse. But for state competency, it's okay to actually say, I'm checking your respirations. One inhalation, one exhalation is a respiration. So again, we need to use a watch with a second hand. You're not allowed to use a smartwatch or a digital watch for this skill. You want to look at the chest. Where do you see it going up and down? So I usually look right up here first. I look across the chest here to make sure that I'm seeing chest rise, see if I see chest rise and fall. I'll look right across the breast area, and if I'm not seeing anything there, then I'll go to the abdominal area. Now, for state competency, you are supposed to be able to count the respirations without touching the patient. But I am going to tell you in real life, if you're counting respirations and you're having a hard time seeing it, when I'm pretending like I'm checking the pulse, I'll bring the hand in like this. And so now when I'm done counting when I'm done counting the pulse, I start counting the respirations. He hopefully still thinks I'm counting pulse, but I can actually feel my arm moving up and down with it. So sometimes if you're having a hard time seeing, that trick will help. But for state competency, you're not supposed to touch. The other thing for state competency, I know normal respirations are 12 to 20, but don't be alarmed if when you tell someone you're going to be counting their respirations, they automatically control their breathing, and then that can actually change the reading for you. So I'm gonna go ahead, since this is for state competency, I'm gonna go ahead, and he knows I'm counting his respirations. I see the chest movement here. So I'm gonna tell my evaluator, I'm gonna say, okay, and again, this is something we have to do for 1 full minute. I'm gonna tell my evaluator, okay, I am starting on the 3, and I'm gonna go ahead and start now. Okay, and that's my time. Now, that last breath, he started inhaling, okay, but he didn't get through the exhalation phase, so I would not count that one. So then what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and put him in a comfortable position. Now, I did not raise the bed up because his head of his bed was already up, so I wasn't really having to bend over for him. But when it tells you for state competency that you will put the bed in a low position, it doesn't mean his head of his bed has to be flat. It means if you raised it up height-wise, you need to put it back down low. I'm going to make sure call light is in reach. I'm going to tell my evaluator I would wash my hands, and then I will record. And it actually specifically tells you you have to do it in that order for state competency on your measurement skills. It says that you have to put the bed back in lows, give them the signal light, wash your hands, and then record. So you do have, recording has to be last. So if by the time you got to that, you've already forgotten what your respirations are, you're just gonna say, oh, you know what, I need to recount those. It's no big deal, okay? I would get my recording sheet. I've marked it with, my name will be on it. I'll mark respirations and then candidate results. I think I was at 13, but again, I've been talking so much, I'm not 100% sure, and I would hand it to my evaluator. If you're not sure, like I said, you would just go ahead and recount them. And that is basically it for respirations. You're allowed to be 2 off from your evaluator. So long as you're within 2 respirations of your evaluator, you'll be fine.